You've undoubtedly heard the saying, you are what you eat. It's pretty fundamental, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But what if the more profound truth, for success, for happiness, for getting that life we all kind of picture, a good job, financial security, family, what if it wasn't about what you eat, but really about what you think?
That's a powerful question.
Because so often we see things just not working out, and you wonder, why do some people seem almost lucky? They just attract opportunities while others, well, they struggle even when they're trying really hard. What's the actual difference?
It's a question that, it resonates with so many people. And for ages, we've looked outside ourselves, fate, luck, circumstances.
Right.
But the insights we're digging into today, they point somewhere else entirely, something internal, but crucially, something you can actually do something about.
And that's exactly our mission today. We're diving deep into Shad Helmstetter's really groundbreaking book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself.
A classic.
It really is. And this isn't just about, vague positive thinking. It's about understanding this incredible personal computer we all have upstairs.
Our brain, yeah.
Exactly. Our goal is to unpack how our internal programming, our wiring, shapes our entire lives, why it so often holds us back, and I think most importantly, how we can consciously rewire it for real, lasting achievement.
Indeed. And, for years, the whole self-help world has offered countless books, seminars. Often you get that temporary boost.
Oh, yeah, the initial motivation high.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Helmstetter saw this pattern everywhere. People get excited, feel motivated, but then inevitably revert to their old ways.
Back to square one?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He realized that something vital was missing from all these approaches, a fundamental understanding of how our brains actually get programmed and why that default setting is so persistent, so hard to override.
So if that something vital was missing, what was the core discovery Helmstetter made? How do our brains get wired, especially early on?
Well, his research brought to light something pretty startling about our early programming. Get this fact, Helmstetter highlights. By the time you're 18.
Okay.
Even if you grew up in a, let's say, reasonably positive home, you've likely heard no or phrases about what you cannot do more than 148,000 times.
Wow. 148,000. That number it's hard to even grasp.
It really is. Think about it.
That averages out to something like, 22 negative messages every single day for 18 years? While, the positive stuff, the you can do it messages are comparatively rare.
Precisely. And this constant, often unintentional negative input, maybe from well-meaning parents, teachers, friends, even just the media we consume.
Yeah, advertising loves to point out what you lack.
Right. It all gets hardwired into our developing brains. Helmstetter actually estimates that something like 77% of everything we think is counterproductive. It's actively working against us.
77%. That's unsettling.
Yeah.
The idea that our own internal chatter could be undermining us that much, how does he explain why? Why are our brains so, vulnerable to this negativity?
It boils down to a really fundamental principle. Our brain basically operates like a personal computer.
Okay, I think I can picture that.
And here's the crucial part. Just like your laptop, it doesn't judge. It doesn't know truth from falsehood.
It just runs the code.
Exactly. It's a neutral processor. It simply executes whatever program you feed it most often, most consistently. So every casual negative thought, every bit of self-doubt, every limiting belief you repeat, it isn't just background noise.
It's a command.
It's a direct command shaping your reality, whether you mean it to or not.
That's such a practical, almost mechanical way to think about it. Our brain taking orders. He uses a really clear example, doesn't he, about how this plays out?
He does. He talks about a waitress, for example. Yeah. If she keeps telling herself, oh, I'm so clumsy, again and again, her subconscious hears that as an instruction, a program to run. And, well, it dutifully creates that reality. More spills, more dropped plates.
So she makes herself clumsy by telling herself she is.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Or think about money. If you constantly tell yourself, no matter what I do, I just can't seem to make enough money, guess what program your subconscious is running?
It's ensuring you don't make enough money.
It ensures that reality persists. It's just following orders, executing the most dominant program.
So these internal monologues, they're not just thoughts, they're active directives. And Helmstetter argues this isn't random, right? There's a sequence.
Yes, a very precise and logical chain reaction. He calls it the self-management sequence.
Okay, how does that work?
It's a clear progression. Your programming, what you tell yourself, creates your beliefs.
Right.
Your beliefs then create your attitudes. Your attitudes create your feelings. Your feelings determine your actions.
Makes sense.
And finally, your actions create your results.
Programming, beliefs, attitudes, feelings, actions result.
That's the chain. And it's profound because it means your success, your failure, it's not really about luck. It's a direct outcome of this sequence.
So the takeaway is huge if you want different results.
You absolutely have to go back to the beginning. You have to change the programming.
That sounds like a challenge, though, especially with, potentially 148,000 negative inputs already lodged in there.
It does sound daunting,
Yeah.
but this is where modern science actually gives us a massive advantage.
Okay.
Recent breakthroughs in neuroscience, particularly with brain scanning tech, have proven something called neuroplasticity.
Ah, yes, I've heard of that. The brain's ability to change.
Exactly. It's our brain's incredible lifelong ability to physically rewire itself, to form new connections, new pathways based on our experiences and, crucially, our thoughts.
So it's not fixed.
Not at all. Research has literally shown this. People who consistently think positively actually grow more neurons in their left prefrontal cortex.
And that's the part 4.
Problem solving, rational thought, emotional balance,
Yeah.
sort of the brain's CEO.
Okay. And negative thinkers.
They tend to grow more neurons in their right prefrontal cortex, the area more associated with pessimism, negative emotions.
So your thoughts are literally sculpting your brain's physical structure.
Precisely. Reinforcing whatever patterns you consistently feed it. It's physiological.
So this isn't just thinking happy thoughts. It's about physically altering the brain's hardware, almost, upgrading it for success. How does Helmstetter say we actually do this rewiring, practically speaking?
He lays out 3 essential ingredients for making lasting positive change happen this way.
Okay, what are they?
First, the new message, the new program, it must be physically wired into the brain's neural networks. Repetition is key here.
Makes sense, like building a muscle.
Kind of, yeah. Second, you have to understand your role in this process. It's not passive. You're actively involved in the wiring.
Taking ownership.
Absolutely. And third, you need a specific word-for-word new programming vocabulary. Clear instructions for the brain. No ambiguity.
And this is where self-talk fits in perfectly. It covers all 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Helmstetter argues that self-talk is basically the only method that truly incorporates all 3 essential ingredients.
Okay.
And it's important to be clear. This is not hypnosis. Hypnosis is often temporary, maybe bypasses your conscious control.
Right.
And it's not subliminal stuff either, where messages are hidden. Self-talk puts you consciously in the driver's seat.
So you're the programmer.
You are the programmer, taking complete, direct responsibility for your own mind.
Okay, so if we're going to be the programmer, how do we write good code? Helmstetter breaks down self-talk into different levels, right?
That's right, 5 distinct levels, and understanding them is really crucial for using self-talk effectively.
Let's walk through them. Level 1.
Level 1 is negative acceptance. This is stuff like, I can't, if only I could, that's just the way I am.
Oh, dear. Sounds pretty bleak.
It's the most harmful, he says, and sadly the most common. It tells your subconscious to basically give up before you start. It accepts limitations, leads to mediocrity, cripples intention.
Okay, so avoid level 1 like the plague. What's level 2?
Level 2 is recognition and need to change. This uses phrases like, I need to, or I really should.
Ah, the shoulds. That sounds better, doesn't it? Recognizing a need.
It sounds productive, but here's the catch. It's often followed by an unspoken, but I'm not going to, or, but I probably won't.
Yeah. I should eat healthier. But this cake looks amazing.
Exactly. It creates guilt and disappointment because it highlights the problem without actually programming a solution. It just acknowledges the gap.
You know, the I should feeling, it really is an energy drain. I catch myself saying, I should really sort out those emails. And immediately there's this low-level guilt if I don't jump right on it. Why does it create that discomfort?
Helmstetter suggests it's because the brain wants consistency. Saying I should, but then not acting creates a conflict. Your brain then just defaults to the established program, which is usually not doing the thing, hence the guilt.
Okay, so level 1 and 2 are basically out. What are the levels that actually work for us?
Now we get to the good stuff. Level 3 is decision to change. This uses phrases like, I never, or I no longer.
Ah, so it's definite.
Yes. It's the first truly effective level. You state the decision as if it's already done. In the present tense, you're actively telling your subconscious, make this change now. Like, I no longer get stressed in traffic. Even if you still do sometimes, you're programming the change.
Okay, I like that. Making the decision concrete. What's level 4?
Level 4 is the better you. This uses powerful I am statements.
The affirmations people talk about?
Yes, but very specific in present tense. This is the most powerful level for personal change. You paint a complete, vivid picture of the person you choose to be right now. I am organized and in control. I am a confident speaker. I have excellent focus.
So you're describing the end result as if it's already true.
Exactly. It inspires you. It strengthens the new neural pathways. It gives your brain a clear, finished blueprint of who you are becoming. It pulls you forward.
That I am framing feels much more empowering than I should. It's about identity, not just obligation. Is there a level 5?
There is, yes. Level 5 is universal affirmation. This often uses it is phrases. It's more spiritual, connecting to a larger whole. It is well with my soul, or I am one with the universe.
Okay, a bit more abstract.
It can be very meaningful for some people, absolutely. But for our focus today on practical, everyday rewiring for tangible results, levels 3 and 4 are really the powerhouses.
Got it.
So the key directive from Helmstetter is crystal clear. Stop using level 1 and 2 talk immediately. Just cut it out. And consciously replace it with level 3 and especially level 4. That's how you actively reprogram.
That makes a lot of sense. And you mentioned earlier he stresses simplicity. So many self-help things fail because they're just too complex or time-consuming.
Exactly. If it requires enormous willpower or hours you don't have, it's just not sustainable. Self-talk needs to be simple, easy, and effective to become a real habit.
Which leads us to the practical application. How do we actually do this consistently?
Right. This is where Helmstetter's practical 3-step process comes in. Very straightforward.
Okay, lay it on us. Step 1.
Step 1 is monitor. You have to become aware of what you're currently saying to yourself. Listen consciously to everything that runs through your head, silent or spoken.
Even the little things.
Especially the little things. Ugh, the toast is burned, this whole day is ruined, or, I've been meaning to call them, but just notice it without judgment at first. Most of our self-talk is totally unconscious, so this is about shining a light on it.
That awareness piece feels huge, just knowing what programs are running. Okay, so once you monitor, what's step 2?
Step 2 is edit. The instant you catch yourself using negative self-talk, levels 1 or 2, you immediately stop and rephrase it into a positive present tense directive, level 3 or 4. So, I just can't seem to get organized today becomes instantly, I am organized and in control today.
Like hitting delete and typing the correct command right away?
Precisely. You don't let the negative program finish running. You interrupt it and insert the positive instruction. This prevents reinforcing the old wiring and starts building the new.
Okay, monitor, edit. What's the third step? You mentioned it being perhaps the most effective.
Yes. Step 3 is listen. This involves listening to recorded self-talk sessions.
Using pre-recorded tracks.
Exactly. This leverages the power of repetition in a really efficient way. Think about how kids learn language just by hearing it constantly.
Passive absorption.
Right. Listening to recordings can bypass your conscious critical mind, especially if you listen while doing other things, and it directly feeds the positive programming into your subconscious.
That idea of passive listening while doing something else, that's quite something. Did Helmstetter have personal proof this worked?
He absolutely did. He famously shares that he lost 58 pounds primarily by listening to his own self-talk recordings for just 15 minutes each morning while he was shaving.
While shaving, so he wasn't even fully concentrating on it.
No, that's the point. The subconscious absorbs the input even when your conscious mind is occupied elsewhere. It makes the reprogramming feel almost effortless because it doesn't require intense focus or willpower. Consistency trumps intensity here. The brain just takes in what it hears repeatedly.
Wow, 58 pounds just from listening while shaving. That really speaks to consistency over brute force effort. It challenges that whole change has to be painful idea.
It really does. And this whole approach isn't just for, massive weight loss or quitting smoking. Helmstetter talks about something many people experience. Personal growth stasis or PGS.
PGS, what's that exactly?
It's that stuck feeling. You want to change. You know you could be doing better, but you're just stuck. Caught between the old you and the potential future you.
Oh, I think we all know that feeling. Inertia.
Exactly. And PGS, he says, it drains your energy, it lowers your self-esteem, and it effectively blocks growth. You're just spinning your wheels.
So how does self-talk help break through that specific kind of inertia, that stasis?
He offers a few targeted steps. First, set a goal. Decide consciously that you are going to permanently integrate positive self-talk into your life. And crucially, write this goal down.
Physically write it. Why is that so important?
He claims that the simple act of writing it down increases your chance of achieving it to 75% or more. It makes it tangible, a commitment. Then read that written goal every morning and every night for at least 90 days. It focuses the brain.
Okay, commit it to paper, review it daily. What's next?
Second, listen daily. Commit to that minimum of 15 minutes a day of listening to recorded self-talk sessions. That consistent positive input is vital for overcoming the inertia of old programming. It's like a constant drip feed of the new instructions.
Consistency again. And the third part.
Third, list your negative programs. Actively identify and write down your personal top 10 most frequent negative self-talk phrases, the ones you catch yourself saying all the time.
Why list the negatives?
It brings them fully into your conscious awareness. It highlights exactly what you need to edit. It focuses your brain on the specific weeds you need to pull, making the monitor and edit steps much more targeted and effective. It's like creating your personal debugging list.
Monitor, edit, listen, and then specifically targeting the stasis with written goals and awareness of the negatives. These steps feel very practical. And it seems like this isn't just for huge life goals.
Not at all. It's universal. You can use self-talk to change everyday habits, maybe procrastination, to rewire attitudes, taking more responsibility, building self-esteem, boosting motivation for work, improving your income, even helping with parenting or studies.
So managing daily frustrations, too.
Absolutely. He talks about situational self-talk. Something unexpected happens. You get a flat tire, an annoying phone call interrupts you, instead of letting it derail your day with negative reactions.
You use self-talk to reframe it.
Exactly. You consciously choose your response with level 3 or 4 talk. Okay, this is unexpected, but I handle challenges calmly and effectively.
Yeah.
You change your internal response rather than being controlled by the external event.
So you become the master of your internal state, regardless of the external circumstances. Wow, this whole deep dive has really laid out a powerful framework.
It really had.
We've seen that our brain truly is like this programmable computer.
Yeah.
And its current wiring, it's largely from unconscious programming, parents, school, media, everything. And that wiring has shaped our beliefs, our attitudes, our feelings, and ultimately our actions and results.
But fantastic news is neuroplasticity. The brain can change. And through the power of conscious self-talk, you genuinely have the ability to become your own programmer.
You can override the old stuff.
You can override the old conditioning, erase those limiting beliefs, and consciously install new, positive directives. Programs that actually align with what you truly want in life.
It really does come down to the input. Helmstetter puts it so powerfully. You are everything that is your thoughts, your life, your dreams come true. You are everything you choose to be. You are as unlimited as the endless universe.
It's quite a statement.
It really is. So considering that, the question for you listening is, what will you choose to input into your incredible personal computer starting today? How will you use your own words to build the life you actually desire?
The roadmap is here. The tools Helmstetter provides are simple. The science backs it up. The power really is within you. Start monitoring. Start editing. Start listening. Your journey, your unlimited future, it truly begins with what you say when you talk to yourself.